Change and growth are two things that can be scary at some points, and unfortunately or fortunately, everyone has to go through both. Today, I want us to talk about when you need to make a change in your life, take a different turn, or do something better, or do something different, or explore other possibilities other than what you have been doing for a long time in your life. Hi everyone, my name is Benny Grace, and I am a host at this YouTube channel called I Am Grace. And today, I want us to talk about change, when you know you need to change, and when do you make sure you don't make errors changing, because it can also be tricky, and that urge to have something different in your life can make you do a lot of mistakes. There are people who have changed maybe one thing in their life and it made them good and better for forever, and there are others who made a slight change that led their life to hell. So there is always the need to be very careful when stepping into a change, when trying to take a new step in life. And I feel like that's really important to consider, because your success and your failure, there is a very thin line between success and failure, and that is the choices we make in life. I know people might come for me and say, oh, it's not always about choices. Some people are in bad positions and they never chose it. But when you look at biggest percentages, the choices we make affect who we become and what we be in life in a way we can't even control, but also that we can control if we want, because as I said, it's all about choices. So the number one thing, if you really feel like you are no longer growing where you are, you have reached the maximum potential of how you can grow in an environment, that is the number one sign that you need to change. Here, for example, if you are in a job and you feel like the job is not challenging you anymore and you're not learning anything new, my dear, that job is going to make you more comfortable, and the moment you lose it and ready, you are going to struggle more. So the moment you realize that you are in a job and it's not giving you any more growth, you feel like you have achieved what you are supposed to achieve, that's the moment to leave that job. There is a proverb or a saying that people say a good dancer knows when it's time to leave the dance floor, which I feel like it's the wisdom that everyone needs to know when you are supposed to leave, when have you achieved the maximum potentials that you can really achieve in that workplace. There are so many ways that you can get to know you are into more of the routines and you are no longer enjoying those routines. They no longer make sense to you. You understand that kind of feeling when you really feel like you no longer want to attend meetings because all those meetings are going to be talking about the same thing, or you no longer put efforts into doing your job because it's still the same thing that you are doing. At that point in life, to me, I feel like it's the moment to start thinking of doing something new that you're going to enjoy, because this life is a long learning journey, and if you feel like you are not learning, you are not being challenged, your brain is not going to expand, and as a result your brain will forgo, will die eventually, which you don't want to happen to you. The number two thing is when you are no longer serving a purpose. My t-shirt has a word written created for a purpose. It's inverted, maybe you might not see it. No, created with a purpose. I believe that every person is created with a purpose in their life. My purpose might be different from your purpose. What I'm made to serve might be different from what you're meant to serve, but we are all created with a purpose. It might be a godly purpose, it might be a worldly purpose, because God has put everyone here because he wanted them to accomplish something. So that something might be to become a good accountant, to become a good parent, to become a good CEO. So many things you can do, and yes, of course, all can be God's purpose in your life. The moment you feel like that moment or the place you are in, you feel like you're not serving a purpose, you are just there because you don't have a choice, it's the moment to start looking for something better or something that actually aligns with your purpose. It's very much of a loss if you live a life that's purposeless, just looking forward to the new day and see what it brings. I feel like it's a loss, and you are not living a life to the full if you are not really living your purpose, because I think that's why you feel like you are not happy and that's where you feel like there is something really missing in your life. I went to university and I did physical therapy. In the beginning, I really loved it. I felt like I love helping people and I love seeing their lives change from using a wheelchair to standing and to walking on your feet, which is really a good thing to do and which is so satisfying. But at the other moment, I knew that was not me, and I felt like I need to make a change. I need to turn my life around and I need to find something better to do. Not better as in because I undermine the role that physical therapy plays in the healthcare interdisciplinary ecosystem, but because I felt like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, and because of that reason I'm not giving it my all. So because of that, I ended up doing something else. I went into business, and I would say I feel more satisfied by how I'm serving and what I'm doing currently, which I feel like should be the way to go for everyone. Changes can be scary. You can always be scared because you don't really know what is gonna happen the moment you decide to change. Maybe resign a job that paid you well and go out there to put yourself out there and look for things that work for you. It might feel like the fear of unknown might really hit in, and you're like, what if I change and it doesn't really work out the way I felt like it's gonna work out, or it doesn't go the way I wanted it to go? What if I change and maybe I'm not lucky enough to maybe make more money as I used to make? All those are the fears, but there is a certain sense of satisfaction that comes with knowing that you are doing something that you love and that you enjoy. So don't be afraid of changing. The moment you feel like that's not where your purpose is, don't look at the money, don't look at anything, because I believe that the moment you align and live your purpose, the money comes, the respect, the prestige, all those things you can think of. Because look at all careers in the world, there is an epitome in every sector of life. In music, in medicine, in politics, in religion, we have people that we look up to, and we have people who are really successful in that particular sector of life. So don't be afraid of trying to find out what your purpose is because of the fear of losing money, because of the fear of losing friends, because life is a cycle. People keep coming and people will keep going, and that's the reality you cannot avoid. So a purpose would be on your thoughts and be like, am I serving my purpose? Do I feel like I'm really living in my purpose? And you might ask, how do I get to know if this is my calling, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? If you are a believer, I believe that praying and working and taking time to explore more of yourself and who you are will bring out that one thing that you're supposed to do. You don't tell me that maybe, for example, you love patience and you love being around people and helping, and tell me that that is going to lead you somewhere else apart from being a medical doctor if you are gifted enough to understand and to use your brains to study and do medicine. The number 3 way to know that this is the moment to change, when you no longer feel at peace in a place. For example, if you live in a house and you can't really sleep in that house, it really happens a lot. Every moment you enter that house, there is a negative energy, a negative feeling, like you don't really feel like yourself. You feel like there is something missing. That is a moment either to move a house or to make a change in your life. You might be moving a house, might be moving a country, and yes, I do understand that those kind of things happen, and for no reason you just feel like being in a certain place doesn't serve you well. For example, if you're in a relationship, that relationship doesn't feel like your relationship anymore. It feels like it's a job. You're in a relationship and you feel like you have entered another 9 to 5 by the moment you see your partner. I am not advocating for breakup, but I'm advocating for the peace of mind. I believe that that moment where you feel peaceless, where you feel restless, that's the perfect time to be like, you know what, I need a change, and seek that change and go for that change. It can be uncomfortable. I know it will come with a lot of therapy. It might come with a lot of anxiety, feeling like, how am I going to live without them? How am I going to do without ABCD? How am I going to get to work if I move from this house and go to live in another one? There are so many things that you can think about, and trust me, at the end you're going to thank yourself yourself or doing yourself that favor of just moving and making that one change. Sometimes, a few days ago, I was talking to a friend. We were somewhere and she told me her entrepreneurship journey. She's an entrepreneur, a very good and smart one, and she was telling me about her journey, how she moved countries and found good luck in another country. And I was like, sometimes all you need is a flight, just one flight, and then you see the better side of your life. So staying in one place, living the same life of routines, being in a comfort zone is not what you really need. You need to understand that yes, staying, exploring, and trying to grow might work for some other people, but you looking at your life trajectory, maybe you are a flight away from your dreams. Maybe you are an application away from finding the job that satisfies you, where you don't live because it has to pay your bills and that's all you care about. So change can be really something that we think about differently, and maybe we don't know that we need, but trust me, it's that one thing that you need, and that's inevitable. Amount of how you need it, you don't avoid that. The fourth one, I wanted actually to talk about being careful about moving, and also moving countries, how it can be real good to you and how it can ruin your life. I know a lot of people feel like just because if I move to this country, I'm going to make it better. Maybe my life is gonna be better if I go to school, get another degree, if I do LBCD. Trust me, it's always good to get to analyze and to examine your own journey in a way that you don't refer to someone else. You just look at yourself, look at your purpose, and look at what you are doing and where you are in life, and then get to decide from there. The reason why I'm saying this, for example, young people in Africa, in different parts of Africa or in different parts of the world, think that moving to this one developed country is going to make their lives better, and sometimes they are right, other times they are wrong. So I feel like observing the odds and calculating, making the absolute calculation and having a plan helps you. Not because someone moved, it doesn't mean it's going to help you if you move. Maybe your success is in that country where you live, where you were born, but then you are not really exploring your success to the maximum. And also, maybe your success is in another country, but why are you moving? Do you have a plan? Are you sure you're not going to compromise? There are so many guiding principles. I am a firm believer in God. I do believe in God, and I pray about most of the decisions that I'm going to make, and I never tie myself to any country or to any environment. I believe that where God leads me, He will always provide, which is why I seek guidance from Him anytime I'm about to make a big decision in my life, like moving a country, like changing a job, applying for a school, or even getting into romantic relationships or friendships. Mostly I do seek guidance from God. So change can be really hard, but also seeking guidance from God can help you through and can put you through mostly without feeling anxious or without feeling like I don't know what is gonna happen, because if you really believe, you know that where He leads will provide, and at the end of the day you are going to live a very successful life, feeling at peace and feeling like, oh, change was really necessary and I really had to make it to get to where I am in life. So if you really enjoyed this video, I'm actually close to the end. Consider subscribing to my YouTube channel so that anytime I post a video, and turn on the notification, so anytime I post a video, you'll be among the first people to get to know the video that I have uploaded. And also consider sharing in the comment section, when do you feel like changing, or if you have made changes in your life, when did you really make that decision, what triggered the decision, and how would you advise other people to actually go about making changes? Because it's something that is really debatable. Oh, what if that happens? Because we are human beings and we doubt and doubt every time, because we don't really know, like, we are not gods, we don't know what is going to happen in the future. So the best we can do is to leave it to He who knows the future for us, and He who has good and better plans for our lives. So I love you all. Ciao. Thanks for watching.